You're the young fellow who came here from Scarlet,
Yes, that'll be me.
The lady of the castle was asking after you.
Ah, I'll go and see her.
Very well. Farewell.
Yeah.
God be with you.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
What would you want with him? Well, it's no skin off my nose. The bastard has a cottage on the edge of the village by the road to Ratai. Farewell.
God be with you.
Is there anything suspicious?
Indeed there is. Just last night, Father Godwin was here, calling fire and brimstone down on all... Oh, and another thing. Around here, you should hear about what Vashek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they fell off their seats laughing.
Have you got a bed for the night?
Aye, there's room here. For how long?
Just the one.
No problem.
That's two.
Suit yourself. Farewell.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawler.
Has he been up to any...
I don't know. The last few days...
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything.
Another thing about...
Good day to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the...
Of course.
That man Lubosh who was murdered.
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him.
Have you noticed anything?
Well, now I think of it,
Do you know what Lubosh...
not a clue.
Do you know anyone
He was alone.
That's all.
Good afternoon.
I've come in the name...
I don't know how I can help.
Who was this Lub?
You could see at first glance he was no good.
Have you noticed anything?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the...
Do you know what Lub...
I don't think he was...
Do you know who Lubosh...
As far as I know.
That's all.
May the Lord watch over you.
Jesus Christ be...
I've come in the name...
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well,
That man Lubosh who was...
he was a strange one. Always drinking, bad-tempered. Lord,
Have you noticed any...
I didn't see much of him lately.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing?
I don't think he was home at all.
Do you know anyone Lu...
I really don't know.
That's all.
Farewell.
Look out. My respects.
I've come...
I don't know.
That man Lubosh...
I didn't really...
Have you noticed any...
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. I was wondering...
Do you know what Lub...
I was coming... He looked like he was in a hurry.
Do you know anyone...
Not with anyone from the village.
That's all.
May the Lord watch over you.
Good day to you.
I've come in...
I don't know nothing.
That man Lub...
I didn't...
That's all.
May the Lord watch over you.
Stop him, someone! Catch him! Stop him, someone! Jesus Christ!
Had enough?
Look! It was only a few
No excuses.
Here!
You got the thrashing you deserved. I hope...
I'll amend my life. From the very foundation. You really let him go? Just like that? And did you get the loot back?
I did. I have it here.
Thank you. A thieving mag... And just so you know, I'm no...
Thanks.
blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of... Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But...
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Simple, rough fellow, but at...
Did you notice anything...
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like...
That's really not a lot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your...
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that for...
Vows more important than catching danger?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which...
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted...
Worse than the death of innocent Christians?
No one escapes...
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you...
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern.
All right.
God be with you.
Greetings.
Of course.
I mean here.
Yeah, right.
In the presbytery.
Yes.
Uh,
So why are you surprised Godwin...
I'm not.
God bless.
They are. May he have mercy.
Good afternoon.
I've come in the...
Ask away.
Who was this?
He was a drunk.
Have you noticed...
The only thing...
Do you know what...
What do I care?
Do you know who...
It was always a...
That's all.
Take care.
I've come in...
I don't know.
That's all. Thank you. Have you got a bed for...
All right. For how long?
How about if I...
All right.
Is this enough?
That's not enough.
You'll like it here. Like sleeping on it.
Where do I go to...
You'll have no trouble finding it. Right inside the door to the building, there's a ladder up to the loft. Your bed's ready there, and... Take care now.
Here, enjoy.
The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad.
I've only got 2 hands. Here you are. And good health. Coming.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh. I'm sorry.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There's a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who
My poor child. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Han...
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujitz, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find... Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying...
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses.
One beer for
They only wanted to kill. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke.
I see it's every bit as bad as... Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parent. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword.
Satisfied?
You know what they say. The Lord...
But this is a bit more mysterious.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise.
I noticed there's a woman living with you.
What of it? Have you never met a cleric who lives with a... Mother Church won't let me take her to wife. Too afraid it might lose its property to any heirs she bore me.
I'm not sure the parish priest at St. James would agree with... Well, we've had an agreeable... So, about this confessional seal.
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make... If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed...
Oh, you're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own...
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your...
Well, Ujic isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the...
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard.
It has to be something topical. Condemning, tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, especially if they're about fornication.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about...
The preaching of Master Jan Hus, the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned just like a flock of hungry ravens. They settled on this land. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by law. You want to baptize a child? Hey. You want to steal and murder? What if the devil himself were to pay? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had... Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor. Amen.
To the women. God
Well,
bless them.
this Jan Hus character is...
Oh, the congregational...
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of...
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and...
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan?
He's certainly a wise man. Well, look, if he got out of Prague and came here for a look...
Where can I find out more about...
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons.
What do the common folk...
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words.
Yeah, unless they burn...
Nonsense. They can't burn them.
Thanks for... Oh, it's getting quite late.
What do you suppose?
Ale for me.
Ah, that sounds like a good...
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
I like a beer.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj panuje sej smutek, do mnie loi rano utek, niech już małżeński majstra, do wczera żylne staje prak. Už sej bojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich učit. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Budem se bavit a do rána slávit a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!
Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out. Oh. Ah.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Oh, dude, that hurt.
I'll wipe my ass with you.
Pour me one.
You call that?
Oh, my dear. I'd like to have a little ring on the said and done.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care?
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here. Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
It's a perfect plan. Listen. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
So all at once...
Don't mock me.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it. No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You no need to drag it out. If it turns out...
Christ almighty.
Wonderful.
Never show up. The swimp.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry
to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, enemies, injustice, hunger and chaos, failed harvests, fires, floods and other catastrophes. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Aye, all honour to Godwin. Let him drink like one of us.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was. A young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side.
I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out?
Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.